Okay, this is the first lecture notes worksheet. So the problems I went over during class time. So the first question is to express each interval. Let me fix my pen. Okay. So each one in interval notation and in set builder notation. So I have two sets. So this now is in interval notation. The corresponding set builder notation is this. So we use braces. And we have a variable x sits in the middle. And on the left-hand side, x greater than -2. And the right-hand side 5 has a bracket. So -2, let me erase this. You see on the side of -2 is open parenthesis. So open parenthesis corresponding to this sign, no equal sign. But this bracket for 5, so 5 after 5 is a bracket. That means we need to also less than or equal to 5. Okay. B, both sides are brackets. So that means x less than or equal to the right-hand side 1, the right side 1, 7. And greater than or equal to the left one, which is a 3.5. Then we use braces. So C involves infinity. Infinity, so when we have a number line, right, we need to draw a number line too. So 0 sits in the middle. So on the right-hand side of 0 is positive numbers. On the left-hand side, negative numbers. So negative infinity weights on the very left-hand side. Positive infinity weights on the right-hand side. So infinity is not a concept. So it's not a number. It's not a number. It's just a concept. Okay, so set builder notation, we see x greater than or equal to the left one, which is -1. So the left one is always smaller. Okay, this is smaller one. The right side, the right one is always bigger. And less than infinity, because infinity is not ideal. We never use equal sign here. So just less than infinity. Then we use braces. So similarly, this one, we see negative infinity less than x, variable x, less than 5, because it's a close parenthesis, so no equal sign. And the corresponding graph, so let's graph each one of them. So we have -2 and 5. So let's see, 0 is here, -2 here, then +2, so 5 is about here. Open parenthesis, no equal sign here, indicates empty circle. So we make an empty circle. And a bracket or with equal sign, we make a solid. So fill in. Then we see all the numbers in between of those two numbers, not including -2, but including 5. So that's the graph. Similarly for B, let's see, 0 is here, 3.5. Well, 7 doubles 3.5, so this is 7. And both sides brackets, so we make a solid dot. Make a solid dot. And all the numbers in between. And C, -1, let's see, this is a -1. Including -1, make a solid dot. Up to infinity, so we draw, then we indicate with an arrow. Right? It keeps going on the right-hand side. Let's see D. D, let's see, 0 is here, 5 is here, not including 5, so make an open circle. So from -infinity up to 5. So make a to the left-hand side, right? Because Negative infinity is on the left-hand side. Excuse me. Okay, that's the first one. Let's see the second one. Second one, we want to evaluate absolute value. So absolute value of a negative number is a negative, so it becomes positive, it's 1/3. But this negative sign is outside, so we just need to rewrite it. But the absolute value of 2.8 is 2.8. So for this one, we get a negative 2.8. Because the negative sign is outside the absolute value. Well, absolute value of 0 is 0. Now let's see 3. 3, we have these coordinates. We have x-axis, right? The horizontal real number line called the x-axis. The vertical number line called the y-axis. So we have the origin 0, 0. So this point is 0, 0. Right. The first 0 is for the origin of x value. So towards the right-hand side, positive, for the left-hand side, negative. And the second 0 is for the y value, right? From top to the up, positive value, down, negative value. All right, so basically the first member is x, the second member is y. Well, let's see 8. So x value is 1, y value is 2. So x value is 1 here. So all the points here on this line has x value of 1. But we're looking for y value to be 2. That's this point. So this is 8, right? X value is 1, y value is 2. Let's see B, 0 and 3. So x value is 0, but y value is 3. So here, that's B. B will have 0, 3. C, -3, -2. X value -3 here on this line, then y value -2 here. So C is -3, -2. Then D will have -1, +1. -1 x value here, the y value is +1. So this point, so this is D, -1 and 1. So we have 4 quadrants. So this one called the first quadrant. This one called the second quadrant. This one called the third quadrant. This one is a fourth quadrant. Right, first quadrant, x value positive, y value positive. Second quadrant, x value negative, y value positive. Third quadrant, both negative. X value is negative, y value negative. Fourth quadrant, x value positive, y value negative. Right, if I make another point, let's see E point. Right. E, I have, let's see, 2, -4. So 2, +2 on this line, x value. Then y value is -4, so that's this point. So that's E point. +2, x value, negative y value. All right, so that's plug-in points on the coordinates. Let's see 4. Or we want to complete table values for this equation. So this equation involves x, involves y. And we want to select x value from -3 to 3. Let's make a table. let's say x value is here. So starting from -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And the y value is 2 minus x squared, which is the y value. Then we have a point of x comma y. So when x equals -3, we have 2 minus -3 squared. -3 squared is 9, positive 9. Then 2 minus 9, -7. So get a point, -3, -7. So I need to change this. Now x is 2, -2. So 2 minus -2 squared. -2 squared is 4. 2 minus 4, -2. So we have -2, comma, -2. -1, 2 minus -1 squared. -1 squared is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So a point, -1, comma, 1. 0, 2 minus 0 squared. Well, 0 squared is 0. So 2 minus 0 is 2. So 0, comma, 2. This point is special. It's called a y-intercept because x value is 0. Then 2 minus 1 squared. 1 squared is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have 1, comma, 1. Then 2 minus 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 2 minus 4, -2. So get a point 2, comma, -2. 2 minus 3 squared. 3 squared 9. 2 minus 9, -7. So get 3, comma, -7. Now let's graph it. Let's use this graph here. So -3, -7. X value -3, y value -7. So get this point. -2, -2. X value -2, y value -2. Get this point. Then -1, 1. So -1, 1. Get this point. 0, comma, 2. That's this point. 1, comma, 1. Then 2, comma, -2. 2, comma, -2. 3, 3, comma, -7. So let's graph. So those are not straight lines. So we graph smoothly, like a roundish. Roundish. So we say a downward parabola. In the future, when we talk about functions, so this is a quadratic function, but for now, it's a quadratic equation. So that's it. So that's the graph. Let's say 5. We want to solve those two equations. So this is one variable linear equation. Linear because the exponent of x is 1. Right? By default, this is x raised by 1. So what do we do? For a, which is distribute 5, because 5 is a common factor of 3x and 2. So we need to multiply 5 with 3x and multiply 5 with 2. Same thing for 4. Multiply with 2x, multiply with -1. 5 times 3x, 15x. 5 times 2, positive 10. 4 times 2x, 8x. 4 times -1, -4. Now we need to combine like terms. So we saw 15x and 8x are like terms, but they're not on the same side of the equation. So we need to move. We need to move 8x to the other side of the equation. So when we move from one side to the other, we need to change its sign. So 8x on the right-hand side is positive. When we move to the left-hand side, it becomes negative. Similarly, we want to move this term to the right-hand side, so we can combine with its like term -4. So that becomes negative as well. 15x minus 8x is 7x. -4 minus 10, -14. Divided by 7, x equals to -2. Right, one solution. What about B? B will have these fractions. So the least common denominator is 15. So because we have equation to work with, so I can increase all the terms 15 times bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 15 with every term. Okay, every term I multiply by 15. Right, 15 times, let's put on the side. So 15 multiplied by y minus 4 divided by 3. How do I think about this? I can think this as a 15 because it's a multiplication. So I can switch the order. I can think that's 15 divided by 3, then times y minus 4 divided by 1. Divided by 1, I don't really need this 1, right? I can just think 15 divided by 3 times y minus 4. On 15 divided by 3, I know that's 5. So the first term becomes 5 times y minus 4. Similarly, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So the second term becomes 3 times 3y minus 1. And this one becomes 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So now I distribute as I did with 8. I just have to distribute. So I have 5y minus 20 minus 9y plus 3, because negative 3 times negative 1 become positive 3. Then this 3, okay, that equals to 3. So on the left-hand side, I have 5y minus 9y. So I get negative 4y. Then negative 20 plus 3, that's negative 17. That equals to 3. Now I want to move negative 17 to the other side, become positive. So I get negative 4y equals to 20. So y equals to negative 5. Because 20 divided by negative 4, that's negative 5. Okay, also one solution. Now let's see 6. 6 is a word problem. It's we have two plans. So plan X charges monthly fee of $20 and with a charge of 5 cents per text. So if we send one text, 5 cents, two texts, 2 times 5 cents, so on and so forth. So Y plan has a monthly fee of $5 only, but 10 cents per text. So if we send it 5 texts, that costs us 50 cents. So the question is asking for how many text messages will the cost for two plans to be the same? To be the same means they equal to each other. Well, let's figure out the plan X, the cost of plan X. Let's see for how many text messages, for T many. You can use any variable. You can use X, you can use Y, you can use any variable, right? So this T represents how many text messages will be sent for the two plans cost the same. So plan X, we have $20 plus 0.05 times T, right? So this is the rate of change. 0.05 is dollars over how many text messages, then multiply by this many, T many text messages. So the whole amount is the money. So this is the money for charging T text messages. So this side we put plan Y. Plan Y charges $5 one time, then plus 10 cents multiplied by T. Okay. So again, we'll move around. Let's move 5 to the other side, becomes minus 5. Let's move 0.05 T to the other side, becomes minus 0.05 T. 20 minus 5, 15. 0.10 T minus 0.05 T, that equals 0.05 T, right? How do you do 0, 10 minus 0.005? We'll put 0 here. We borrow 1 from here. So 10 minus 5, get a 5, right? Then borrow 1, then we borrow 1 from here, get 0. 0 minus 0, 0. Again, this is 0. So get a 0. Oh, I got too many zeros. Only 1 0 in between. This is only 1 0. So I got 0.05 T. Now I divide by 0.05t on both sides. So t equals to 15 divided by 0.05. How do I divide this? I can multiply by 100 over 100, right? 100 over 100 is 1. Anything multiplied by 1 is okay. Then the numerator, then the denominator, so 0.05 changing 1 times 100 becomes 5. So those two zeros kills those two decimal places. And the numerator, I have 15 times 100. Again, 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 100, 300. So for 300 text messages sent in a month, the two plans will cost the same. Let's see 7. The total terminal costs $5. Commuters who use the terminal frequently have the options of purchasing a monthly discount pass for $40. So which means each month it costs you $40. You don't have to pay any extra anymore. With the discount pass the total, oh, hold on, no. With the discount, so you pay $40 for member fee, then you get a discounted. So now each time you have to pay, you only have to pay $3 instead of $5. If you don't spend $40 for this to buy the membership, to buy the discount, each time when you cross the tunnel, you have to pay $5. Now, because you spend $40 upfront to buy the discount, it only costs you 3 times, $3 for each crossing. Question, for how many tunnel crossings per month will the total monthly cost without discount pass be the same as the total monthly cost with the discount? Okay, so 1 without discount. So let's see. So the same, of course, the same means equals to each other. So let's say without the discount. So this side is with discount. So how do we form that expression without discount? Without discount, you just have to pay $5 each time, right? For how many crossings? Let's call it for C many, for C many crossings. So that would be 5 times C, it would be your monthly cost, right? Because each time you pay $5. And for C many times you cross the tunnel, you pay 5C money. With discount, first you pay $40 upfront. Then afterwards, you only have to pay $3, right, for each crossing. So total, you just multiply 3 with C. Now, so we move 3C to the other side, becomes negative. So 5C minus 3C, 2C. 2C equals 40. Divided by 2, C equals 40. Divided by 2 is 20. So for 20 crossings, the two plans will cost the same. Okay. Without discount, you just do 5 times, how many crossings in a month. With discount, you have $40 you paid up front. Then you only have to pay $3 for each crossing. Let's say 8. Sydney College accepted 13 more transfer students last year than Auckland College. So combined, the two schools accepted 153 transfer students. Determine the number of transfer students accepted by each college. Let's see, by Sydney College accepted as many transfers. For Auckland College accepted a many transfers. So this 153 in total means the transfer students for both of them add together, that's 153. Sydney accepted 13 more students last year than Auckland. So that means S minus 13, because he has more, right, equals to Auckland's transfers, because Sydney has 13 more. So now just, oh, hold on, I don't have C. This is the S, right, A plus S, 153. S minus 13 equals to 8. Then I can, well, you can use your method to solve this. So I'm going to rewrite the first equation as A equals to 153 minus S. Then I'm going to substitute into the second one. So I have S minus 13 on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is A. I'm going to use this value, 153 minus S. Now minus S, I move to the other side, become plus S. Minus 13, I want to move to the other side, become plus S, 2S. 153 plus 13, 166. Now divide by 2 on both sides, so S equals to 83, right? Because the 2 times 8, 16, 2 times 3, 6, so 83. So S, so the transfer students for Sydney is 83. But for Auckland, so once we have S, we can find A. A equals to 153 minus 83, which is 70, right? So we use the information, use the data given to form equations, then solve the equations. And typically in this, we have a system of 2 linear equations. Let's see C. A new car sells for $25,000. If the markup is 25% of the dealer's cost, what is the dealer's cost, right? So he sells for this much. So 25,000 is the price being marked up already. So let's see the original price, original cost is a C. Okay, so this one equals to C, the original price, right? Original cost plus 25% of C. Because that's markup. Markup is 25% of the cost. So which is 25% times C. So now this one, so I can think of this as 1C, right? So that basically says 1 plus 25% times C, which is 125 over 100C. So that equals to this. Let me rewrite down this side. 25. Right, then let's multiply 100 on both sides. Add 2 zeros, multiply 100, just add 2 zeros. Then divide by 5 on both sides. Divide by actually 25 on both sides. So divide 125 divided by 25, we get a 5. So we have 5C. 25, of course, divided by 25 is 1, 0, 0. How many zeros? 5 zeros. Right. Then divided by 5. So this divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we have 2 followed by 4 zeros. 20,000. Again, we form an equation. So this price is a selling price. So selling price is the cost plus the markup. Okay, last 110. The dog run is 6 feet longer than its wide, and the perimeter measures 32 feet. So I think they should be seeing the rectangular dog run. Okay, so rectangular. So this is a rectangle. Rectangle means the 4 corners, both all 90 degree, and this side the same. So let's call this length. Let's call this width, right? So first is seeing the dog run is 6 feet longer than its wide. So that means L, the length, equals to the width plus 6 feet. And perimeter means we add all the 4 sides, which is 2L plus 2W, right? Okay, so we have L here, 2L, W here, 2W. Adding together, that's 32 feet. So again, we have formed a system of equations. So the first one give us L equals to W plus 6. And the second one we see we can simplify. So let's divide by 2 for all three terms. 2L divided by 2, we have L. 2W divided by 2, we get W. 32 divided by 2, we get 16. So we have L plus W equals 16. From the first one, we have L equals W plus 6. So let's change this L. So that's L is W plus 6, then plus W equals 16. W plus W, 2W, because by default, that's 1W, that's 1W. 1W plus 1W, that's 2W. Then this 6 move to the other side. 16 minus 6, that's 10. Divided by 2, so the width is 5. Well, the width is 5, the length is 6 feet longer. Right? So 6 plus 5, that's 11. And that's it.